Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. There's two containers. Two containers. Members, thank you for being members. You get this first. I'm making this video tonight because tomorrow morning there is no way in heck I'm doing this video. Right? So there's two containers now, making it more profitable. But let me ask you this. Is it worth the headaches? Now we're talking about 600 units. Right? So we're talking what? Let's say that the first 500 is the run, right? So I was listening to the Arcade Insiders. That's where they confirm there's two containers. You can trace them now. And this is the actual first run of production. So you went through all this. You have two containers. Let's just say that the first 500 units are the pre-order units. To me, it should have been at least 1,000, but, why is it only 500? Is that the interest in this machines? Why not go out there, and market more and not, just do 500, try to lower your cost by having a bigger production run, but that's besides the point. Now you have these coming in. Let's just make round numbers, okay? These are just assumptions based on container size that we're looking at and what have you. Let's say you have two 40-foot containers, right? And these are not real numbers, guys. Let's just mull it over here. You have two containers, 500 of the units are pre-orders. They said they're going to have a few extra that they're going to sell online. So a minimum run would be about 500, right? You have another 100 extra that you're going to put to sale. Great. So if you're doing 500 at 550 plus another 100 at 699, that will land you just around 374,000, right? And if the salesman gets 10% of that, 30 G's for a year, right? And it could be that 10% is cut up between people. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what anybody's payroll is out there. But if you just do standard business numbers, right? If you make a standard commission, you put this project together, you work in the project, that's your slice. Unless you're an owner, you might get more. But still, you're talking about $35,000. Is that enough money to put yourself through this kind of stress in a mismanaged project like this? Right? It's mismanaged, but from my point of view, and I'm telling you this as a business analyst, right? This is not the way you want to run production. Not at all, right? Multiple delays, having to give out refunds, that's a loser, right? That's when people get fired. That investors start asking for heads at that point, right? They need a head. When something big goes down in a company like that, where you're losing 20% of the profit, somebody's got to go, right? That's just the way business is. Unless you're the owner and you're the one who made the mistake, well, that's something different. Regardless, guys, it's not a situation you want to be in. So in this mismanaged project, it's just rookie mistake on top of rookie mistake on top of rookie mistake. And the communication, right, it really affected it, because whenever you don't communicate to your customers, there's always speculation, and the speculation is always the worst, right? Listen to all the things. Is this going to be another scam? Is this guy out there in an island with my money? What's going on with the UI? What's going on? And we don't know, right? We don't know. Why have such bad communication? So because the community's been through so many trials and turbulations, if you will, they always assume the worst. We always assume the worst, right? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Why? Because people have been screwed so many times, and even in things that do come out, like the latest, the WrestleFest, right? So you get the product and you go, wait a minute, this is not WrestleFest. You're missing a bunch of things. What happened? So you always have these situations where people end up with bad taste in their mouths. You don't want that. You don't want that for your customer. You don't want those impressions. And when you're not answering questions, when you're not communicating, you get all this criticism. Now, regardless, you might think that these are great arcades. You might think these arcades are no good. It doesn't matter. All that matters, right, for me, at least what makes the story interesting for me, is the business prospects. So at 550, given the market, okay, not that I think that arcade went up should be 550, right? But they have cabinets that are 550 and more out there. There's cabinets that are worth a lot more money. So when you get a cabinet like this that is in the same genre, where the everyday shopper doesn't know, and they're looking at the cabinet, wait a minute, I can get a complete cabinet, for 550, as opposed to paying 649 for something that's in two pieces, or not as good, not as large, whatever, because this is, I think, 9/10, whatever it is. To the layperson, it seems like a better deal, right? At $6.99, maybe not so much, right? At $6.99, it's just, you're talking about a different monster. But you have all these positive things that you could have said, but you didn't say any of them. You didn't say any of them, including, right, the shipping that somebody else had to announce before you. Isn't anybody getting paid over there? Is nobody cashing a check at Iconic Arcade that can take over this project and take it by the horns and manage it properly, regardless of what the product is, right? Regardless of what the product is, you have to have clear communications with your customer so they can have clear expectations. You never had this in this project, right? Because when somebody comes out, right, and what you say that's supposed to happen doesn't happen, it makes you a liar, right? If you say, oh, these are going to be, out by the end of, whatever, the customer expectation, oh, okay, they're going to be here. Now we're talking April, right? Well over a year beyond, whatever. They're finally going to get here. So if you're going to put out a product and you are going to deliver it, why do it in such a way that puts you in the worst light possible? Because what are customers going to think? They're going to think that either one, you're an idiot that doesn't know what they're doing, you're not hiring the right people, you're not paying people to do their job, or they think that you're hiding something. Neither of them is good. Neither of them is good, right? You don't want people thinking that you don't have people that are capable of doing their job, or you don't have somebody out there that is able to articulate the company's message properly out there. And obviously you don't. If YouTubers and everybody else is going out there trying to find this information and give it to the public because you're not doing it, you're not doing your job, you're not controlling the message, whatever that message may be. This is really just free advice for those of you running a business, right? Because you're doing all this strategic planning before you're, these are all, when you have a risk-based thinking, these are all things that you're thinking about ahead of time. And these are all planned out in your business plan. Every single thing that could go wrong, possibly could go wrong, you're included in your business plan. And there's a plan of action for that. If somebody did it. If somebody didn't do it, could it be this? I don't know. If I had to guess, yes. They're flying by the seat of their pants. Somebody that's not unprepared, right? They're learning by fire. If you're an owner, you don't want this. You don't want your employees learning by burning your cash, right? So this whole endeavor, right? It took Iconic Arcade, what is it, $150 off profit out of every cabinet in order to make it work. In no business is that a great idea. Let me take $150 off my product because I screwed up, because I'm late, because this happened, because that. It doesn't matter what happened. It's just never a good idea. And it's fine for you, the public, for me to be talking smack over here, like, shit. It's more content for us. It's great, right? For entertainment, the live streams and everything. But imagine if you're the guy writing the check. Imagine if you're the guy having to pay these people, watching this whole clown show go down. That's the guy I would like to talk to and say, hey, tell me how you feel. How do you think he feels? I wouldn't show up to work, guys. I'm telling you, if I cause that kind of problem, I'm just going to go pick up my stuff. I'm like, hey, you know what? Don't even say anything. I know. I'm just going to take my crap and I'm just going to leave. Okay. I cost you $150 a unit? No, 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 no. So I'm very interested to find out at the end of the day when all this comes out, right? Like what's happening, why exactly the delays, what was the patent issue or the infringement that Arcade One Up was claiming that Iconic Arcade was, violating in order for them to send a cease and desist. Number one, number two, what were the production issues that they were having that it took so long? Even if you started, whenever you started, did you lose any money? If you have to back up production, obviously you lost money. No factory's going to tell you, okay, you want to change the date? No problem. We're not going to charge you anything. No, 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 that's not the way that works. That's not the way that works. So that costs money. Then you have to give out refunds. I'm telling you. Hopefully they got a discount. I don't know. But the way this project's been run, not the best. At least if it functions, and it has everything that, people like and want, or, whatever it may be for these type of cabinets. At least the people that paid $550, maybe they feel they're getting a deal. If everything works, given the current market, it might seem like a great deal. For those people that are going to be purchasing it afterwards, right? Will it be a great deal for them? And I'm going to tell you the truth. I would buy it for the channel. I would probably buy the Street Fighter Alpha 2, the blue one with the, with the graphic. I like that look. But I already have the big blue. It's too similar, right? So I won't, I'm not going to get the same cabinet. There's other things I would like to have other than that. And I don't even have space, But I would do it for the channel to show you, oh, this is what we got, yada, yada, yada. But there isn't anything out here. There's somebody that's offered me, believe it or not, some arcade cabinets, but they're still a little too high. They're one-up cabinets, and they just want them out of their house, but they want almost what they're charging, on eBay. So I'm like, nah, dude, I'll give you this, I'll give you $200 a piece, and I'll take them off your hands if you want. So, if that happens, then of course I'll let you know, at $200, why not, but $600, $699, not for me. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Make sure you like and subscribe. Here you go. You want to join the channel, see behind the scenes, watch these videos early? You got to join the channel. You want to pick a topic, you go straight to Kofi. Catch you on the next one. Take care.